Hello family, my name is Pearl
And my name is Hilary.
and this week's verse of the week will be taken from the book of Daniel chapter 5 verse 23.
You acted against the Lord of heaven and brought in the cups and bowls, taken from his temple.
You, your noblemen, your wives and concubines drank wine out of them, and praised gods made of gold, bronze, iron, wood, and stone, gods that cannot see or hear and that do not know anything.
But you did not honor the God who determines whether you live or die, and who controls everything you do.
Amen.
Amen.
And that's from Daniel chapter 5 verse 23. So in the whole chapter, he was the son of King Nebuchadnezzar. He threw a banquet and he invited his noblemen and people from all over, and he and his noblemen, his wives, his concubines, they were just getting drunk and wasted. And during the course of this banquet, he requested that the bowls and cups that were taken, that his father had taken from the temple of God in Jerusalem, should be brought to them so they can drink out of it. And whilst they were doing so, a hand appeared and started writing things on the wall, and these things could not be interpreted because they were not of a human language. So he had to call in his magicians, his astrologers, all the wizards, and the entire land to come and interpret it for him. Sorry, and none of them could, except Daniel. So Daniel got called in, and he interpreted the meaning of the writings. But before he did that, he reprimanded the king for what he had done. And this is what he told him: you acted against the Lord of heaven and brought in the vessels taken from his temple. You, your noblemen, your wives and concubines drank wine out of them, and you praised gods made of gold, bronze, iron, wood, and stone, gods that cannot see or hear and that do not know anything. But you did not honor the God who determines whether you live or die and who controls everything. So one thing I want to say first is that our bodies are the temple of God, as it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16 to 17. And the vessels of our temple are the abilities that God has planted in us, that we should use to serve him. All the vessels in the temple were used in sacrificial service. So that means that all the abilities that God has planted in us should also be used for sacrificial service. Romans 12 verse 1 says that we should live as living sacrifices. We should give up ourselves as living sacrifices. If we're living sacrifices, then these abilities should be able to edify others. These abilities should be able to be used in this sacrifice, this living sacrifice that we're giving unto God. When they called in Daniel, he interpreted the whole thing, but the king told him that he would reward him. He would make him the next in command. But he said, take your gifts. I do not need your gifts. And he interpreted and he just went his way. This is the same thing that we should do. We should not use these abilities that God has planted in us, because they are for a purpose. These abilities are supposed to edify others, and these abilities are they are in us because someone needs it. I hope this message blesses you, and have a lovely week. I pray this message guides your week into using the abilities that God has planted in you to glorify him. And God bless you all. Bye.